Warm welcome to all to the channel World of Zoology. Our today's lecture is based on malnutritional disorders, and the next malnutritional disorder is nothing but PEM, that is protein energy malnutritional disorder. Now we'll start with the same with different points and the two types of protein energy malnutrition. One is marasmus and another is kwashiorkor. PEM is one of the major public health issues in developing countries. Marasmus and kwashiorkor are the most common conditions of PEM observed in India. A diet predominantly deficient in the protein leads to kwashiorkor, while the diet deficient in the total caloric intake results in the marasmus, means it requires all three types of food constituents, that is carbohydrate, protein and fats in appropriate amount. Transition from one form of malnutrition to the other or combination in varying degrees of the features of the two conditions is generally observed in society. It affects the population of all ages, but most common age group is under 5 years of age, belonging to poor underprivileged communities. First, we'll consider marasmus. The term is derived from the Greek word that is marasmus, meaning to waste. That is, it has Greek origin, and the meaning of the Greek term marasmus means to waste. Muscles which are wasted actually. It means severe loss of body weight in children caused by malnutrition or inability to digest any form of protein. It can occur at any age, but severe cases are seen mainly in children below 2 years of age. Marasmus symptoms which are predominant are listed here. A severe growth retardation, as the caloric intake is low, the growth is retarded or stunted growth is observed. Loss of subcutaneous fat, that means as the caloric intake is low, the maximum energy requirement is fulfilled by the combustion of the fat present underneath the skin, what we term it as subcutaneous fat. Loss of muscular body mass, that is muscles, which are again protein in nature, and as you know that when energy intake or the caloric intake is less, then after carbohydrate the food material which is digested or the oxidized is mainly in the form of protein or fats. Then wrinkle skin. Wrinkle skin means as the muscles are used by the body, then wrinkles observed on the skin. Shriveled body, the total body is shriveled. Then it looks like the bony body structure as if the skeleton. These are the major features of the marasmus. The child look very thin, skin and hair texture is also changes, and has continuous diarrhea. That is indigestion, it results in diarrhea. The appetite may extreme or reduce along with occasional dehydration. Means either the child is a voracious feeder if the appetite is more, or it may reduce and child refuse to take the food. It leads again to dehydration condition, low body weight condition. The abdominal region may reduce or expanded. It shows a protuberance-like structure with particular elevated portion on the uh, umbilical cord portion, which is on the expanded belly portion. That is, the belly portion is with gas. Now we'll consider the next type of protein energy disorder, and which is nothing but kwashiorkor. It is a type of malnutrition disease found in children due to dietary insufficiency of protein in combination with high carbohydrate diet. That means insufficiency of protein in addition to the other two nutrients, that is carbohydrates and fats, and therefore it is known as dietary insufficiency of protein in combination with high carbohydrate diet, also the fatty diet. It is also known as infantile pellagra and nutritional edema due to some infections. Now we'll consider the next point, and that is nothing but the symptoms of the Kwashiorkor. Major symptoms of Kwashiorkor are severe growth failure, that is growth retardation, edema and mental changes, as the supply of glucose to the brain region also reduces tremendously. The child is apathic, diarrheic and anemic. Edematous and anorexic conditions are observed. Anorexia means a loss of appetite or total aversion of the food, what we term it as the अन्नाविषयी तिटकारा किंवा वासना उडणं. There is some degree of muscle loss, but it may be masked by the edema, because muscle loss are not observed due to edematous condition. Due to edema pits which develop first on the feet, legs, and then it covers the entire body. Gradually, skin shows patches of pigmentation, depigmentation, and desquamation, which is described as flag sign. Skin cracks at the folds and ulceration is observed at the anal region also. Oozing fluid comes out from the loose skin, which is described as crazy permanent dermatitis. Great hair loss is also observed, with change in the texture and color of the hair. Hair becomes thin, dry, and can be pulled out easily, and that results in the loss of hair, and which is termed as baldness or alopecia. The muscle wasting in extreme cases may result in incapability to stand on feet, walk, or even to crawl. Anorexia, which is common, making it difficult to feed the child, then that means even we supply additional food to the child refuse to take, or intake of the food can be refused by the child. Other nutritional deficiencies, mainly vitamin A deficiency leading to exophthalmia, then B complex deficiency like glossitis, atrophy of the tongue, and angular somatitis, which can be observed in the patient. Hepatomegaly, which is another symptom observed in the patient, and tremors may be observed. Hepatomegaly means swelling of the liver. Then precaution and remedy, as you know that it is better to take precaution. Cases of the malnutrition with severe infection or dehydration requires intensive care in the hospital for initial treatment, and that means up to the stage the child start taking food naturally. Then nutritious food is the only option in complicated and non-complicated cases. So the precautionary measure is to have adequate healthy food, balanced diet, etc. Prevention. PEM is consequence of not only inadequate food intake but also of poor living conditions and unhygienic environmental conditions, lack of healthcare. And therefore it is primarily a disease of socio-economic inequalities and misdistribution of food and wealth amongst the society members. Malnutrition is thus a multifaceted issue that requires a variety of intervention measures for its control, because it has a socio-economic aspect also. And therefore, the supplementary and nutritional educational programs can help in elevating the problems. Nearly 30% of humanity is currently suffering from one or more of the multiple forms of the malnutrition. In developing world, about 11 million children below the age of the 5 die every year due to some or other reasons, and out of which 60% are associated with malnutrition or malnutrition associated disorders. That means it has a socio-economic aspect, and therefore awareness amongst the family, amongst the society is essential, and also with the help of government we can provide the nutritious material through various schemes to the society, children amongst the society. Here the 10 points of the difference between the Kwashiorkor and marasmus are shown in this slide, and the material is taken from www.majordifference.com. And this table indicate that on one side there is a child showing Kwashiorkor, and on the another side the child showing marasmus. is shown. The marasmus child is showing the rib portion also and bony skeleton, whereas the Kashiorkar child is having bloating or the protuberance of the belly region and umbilical region, which is pronounced in that child. The first difference is developed in the children whose diet are deficient of protein. That means the reason for the development, that is deficiency of protein diet. Whereas the marasmus child is developed due to deficiency of proteins and calories. That means total calorie intake which is required for the healthy diet is here low. Not only the protein but also the carbohydrate, fats, minerals and vitamins which are required in sufficient amount so as to overcome this condition. Then second difference of the two, that is the Kashiorkar child, it occurs, means the condition occurs between 6 months to 3 years of age, and in case of marasmus it is common in infants under the age of 1 year. Then third difference, that is subcutaneous fat is preserved in case of the Kashiorkar, whereas in case of the marasmus subcutaneous fat is not preserved. Then oedema is present in Kwashiorkor. Then in case of marasmus, the oedema is absent, showing skeleton-like structure. Then in case of Kwashiorkor, enlarged fatty liver is observed, whereas in case of marasmus, no fatty liver. Then the ribs are not very prominent in Kwashiorkor, whereas in case of marasmus, the rib portion is prominent here. Then the child is lethargic in case of the Kwashiorkor, whereas in case of marasmus, the child is alert and irritable. Then Kwashiorkor child shows muscles wasting mild or absent, whereas in case of marasmus, the severe muscle wasting is observed. In case of the Kwashiorkor, the child shows poor appetite to the food, whereas in case of marasmus, the child is voracious feeder. Means the child is irritable and it requires food frequently. Then the Kwashiorkor person suffering from Kwashiorkor needs adequate amount of protein, whereas the marasmus child needs all type of food constituents in balanced amount. That is, it needs adequate amount of protein, fats and carbohydrate to overcome the deficiency of the food. That is, all food constituent along with the vitamins and minerals are needed to the child. This, in fact, the slide shows the prominent bones, that is in the cage of the what we term as lung cage. That is, rib portions are prominent and decreased subcutaneous fat, and therefore the child is very big in case of marasmus, but in case of Kwashiorkor the condition is not like that. Even in case of the developed countries, if the food intake is not proper, we can observe the child with Kwashiorkor. That is, if the selected food is given to the child containing less amount of protein, or as per the choice of the food, if the food is given, this condition may occur in the developed countries also due to improper diet given to the child. Thus, we'll finish the topic PEM, that is protein energy malnutrition in case of children below the age of 5 with respect to Kwashiorkor and marasmus. Thank you for watching my video. Share this video for the benefit of the maximum students and subscribe the channel Word of Zoology for notification of my next lecture.